Moving on to the side taper, we're going to separate the bottom half from the top. Now that we have a nice and even part, we can move on to our 1.5 guard all the way open, which is equivalent to a 2 guard closed, and debulk. Here we're debulking the beard with a 4 guard all the way open. Since the mustache area is always more dense than the beard area, we're definitely using a lower guard. We're going to use a 1 guard all the way open. Moving on to our NST outliners, I'm going to line him up and make sure our canvas is nice and neat before we do the taper. This is so I can see how much space we have since his hair is really curly and long. Moving on to the C cup, we're going to start off at the bottom of the beard and then work our way to the top arch. Using the corners of the NST outliners, making sure we don't press too hard. When you're lining up the C cup area, especially when the hair is a little bit longer, you want to make sure you go very slow and detailed as possible. This is so that the hair can feed into the trimmer. Moving on to the beard, we're going to keep it as natural as possible while also keeping it as crispy as possible. Now that we're done creating our outline, we can move on to the side taper and create our first guideline. Now that we're done creating our first guideline, we can move on to our no guard all the way open and create our second guideline. We're then going to slightly close the lever midway and all the way closed and attack that additional guideline. Don't forget to stretch the skin with your opposite hand to give you more room to blend. Especially when it's a taper, there is less space there, so you want to stretch the skin. Now we're moving on to our 1 guard all the way open, and this is going to create our third guideline. We're going to flick out as much as possible here so we can blend into the 1.5 guard easier. Here, instead of using my half guard, I'm using my no guard all the way open. Now that we're done with the taper, we're going back to our NST outliners and we're going to make sure the lineup in C cup is nice and crispy. Moving on to the beard, we're going to start off with our no guard all the way open and create our first guideline. We're then going to slightly close the lever and begin to attack that sideburn. Before we use the 1 guard all the way open, we're going to debulk with our 3 guard and 2 guard. Now we're ready for our 1 guard all the way open, and we're going to slightly close the lever, and this is going to help us blend into the 1 guard all the way open. Now I'm using my half guard to help me blend into the no guard all the way open. My client does like more of that faded beard look, so we're making sure we detail as much as possible. Once we put that razor on the beard, it's going to be real nice and crispy. Make sure y'all hit up the Instagram. It's Luie TDL, Luie TDL. When lining up the lip area, you want to make sure to be as soft and delicate as possible because you could bite them with the teeth of the trimmer. When you're lining up the bottom of the beard, you want to make sure you press and drag to make that line as sharp as possible. Alright guys, I'm going to show you guys the difference. This is the before. This is the after with no blade. Nice and natural. Now that we're done detailing, we can move on to the other side of the taper. Remember, you want to make sure not to press too hard here because you could bite them with the teeth of the trimmer. Moving on to our Turkish razor and Derby premium blades, we're going to make them as crispy as possible. But before we do that, we're going to apply some shave gel so the blade could glide better. Also, when you're using a razor, you want to use your opposite hand to stretch the skin as much as possible and keep your blade at a 45-degree angle. It's good to go against the grain on the cheek, especially if they could take it. If they can't, then don't do it. But if they can, go against the grain on the cheek. It makes it pop out a lot more. Again, I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Also, if you made it this far into the video, leave a comment down below the subscriber count. I'm 100% going to reply to you guys' comments.